to another episode of the Produce Department, and I got a very special one for you tonight, man. I got the infamous, the O, aka OSB. What's going on, my brother?
Man, what's happening? What's happening, man? Eddie Dynamite.
Man, it's good to see you, man. I really appreciate you coming through, man, joining us, man. You know, you a legend in the game. And it's crazy because just before we got on, I was going through YouTube and I saw that you just did something with Bizarre. You know what I'm saying? Detroit to the A43. Can you tell us how did you meet with Bizarre? How did that come together?
Is my sound coming through good?
Coming through perfect.
Okay, just want to make sure I wasn't echoing or giving you no feedback or nothing crazy. Um, Shouts out to the Gangland crew. Shouts out to Ryan. Shouts out to Ghost. GLK Ghost. He been in the industry for quite some time.
Hmm.
He do some things. He got some relationships. Um, 1 second. This is important. This is important.
You think, bro? Shit, this
This is
live in
important.
effect, man. You know what I'm saying?
This is important for the
We in the
continuity of the
we in the
story.
you in the produce department, man. You in the lab, you
Hey
know.
man, I got my produce.
Yes, sir. Better.
My produce. So yeah, once again, big salute GLK Ghost, Gangland crew. I met him through my brother Dub Slim, who met him through Halston Bernard, aka Black Love.
Okay.
Um, so that whole thing came
Shout out,
together.
Hoss-
Yeah, big shout out Halston, shout out Dub Slim, shout out
shout out,
Gangland crew.
definitely shout out Dub Slim.
You already know that's bruh.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we was I came through the studio one day and he was in Dub's studio. He was in Dub's studio doing some music. He was knocking some stuff out. And I commented on some music, told him how I honestly felt about it, and the rest is history. He hit me up after he had paid for the feature. Dub called me one morning and was like, "Hey man, it's a bizarre feature out there. Probably got your name on it." And then Ryan texted me Bizarre's verse. I thought he was just texting me like a snippet of it, but Bizarre did 8 bars. So all I heard was the 8 bars over the beat. That's all I heard for like 2 months.
Hmm.
Um, After I heard the beat, I got to the studio. Ryan called me to the studio. We was recording over here down here in Johns Island with a kid by the name of Zach. Zach is a Grammy-nominated guitarist and vocal engineer. He was recently Grammy nominated for a Grammy this year on Weezer's album. I might be quoting that wrong. It might have been last year, but he was
Hmm.
nominated for his guitar work and his engineer work on Weezer's album. So it was
Dope shit.
like, yeah, it was like just like a super dope weekend, right? So I get hollered at by a kid that's already in the industry, got his plugs, he's doing his thing. He got
Hmm.
an industry feature and he got me recorded right there in South Carolina, undisclosed location. Bam. So I go in there and I smoke the verse like only I can. They were just like they were stoked about it. The energy was the vibes, the everything just came together for the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So that big shout out to Ryan again, aka GLK Ghost. Make sure you follow him on Instagram, GLK Ghost Charleston. Um,
Most definitely. Shout,
Gangland,
shout out, shout out, JLK Ghost. Most definitely.
yeah,
And
Gangland crew, man.
Gangland crew, and I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the verse a little later on in the show, man. Before we get started, and like I said, welcome to the produce department. I'm your host Eddie Dynamite. My co-host Hefe, he'll be joining us shortly, man. Super producer. He always working on music, so so he's in the studio himself. So he gonna join us shortly when he pop
That's
in.
love.
Most definitely. So we just gonna take it from the top, man. Tell us where you're from and tell me about your childhood.
Oh wow, my childhood. Um, First person ever really asked me that, man. So I'm born in Columbia, South Carolina, Richland County, Richland Memorial Hospital. Um,
Hmm.
my mom was raised by two people that met as runaways off of plantations.
Mm,
Um, Both my grandparents had ran away from plantations.
mm,
They lived their life on the run. Alonzo Gibbs is my grandfather, and Geneva Bellinger is my grandmama. That's my mom. So they lived their life on the run. And by the time I was born, my mama had already had. Oh, what's up, Hefe? Hefe in the building
Fa
What's
in the
up, man? What's up?
Fa in the building,
How
man.
y'all doing, man?
Most
for
definitely, most
sure.
definitely. What's happening,
What's going
Hef?
on?
But by the time I was born, I was the I was the baby boy, right? So I
Mhm.
was my dad's last son, and I was my mom's second son. So I had one brother and two sisters preceding me from my mom, and then I had two brothers and one sister preceding me from my dad. But I ain't know
Mhm.
none of these people because I'm 0 days old, fresh as baby ass. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So,
right.
with all that said, by the time I was 5, maybe 4, I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. Um,
Mm,
by
mm.
that time, the the most I remember at that time, we was living in Charleston. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
Like we was living on like South Red. You know what I mean? My brother and me. Yeah, bro. Um, we just used to kick it as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't really have friends. You know what I mean? We was hell on wheels in the neighborhood to anybody that wanted to play with us. So you know, so we just used to go outside and make our own games. You know what I mean? We
Right,
was
right.
we was poor by the material condition definition. I would definitely say that we was poor. You know what I mean? We wasn't balling like everybody else. You know, we ain't get all the Christmas gifts like that. You know what I'm saying? It
It's
was
just like a lot of us, man. Just like a lot. Right, right,
getting school clothes was more of a plus than getting Christmas gifts sometimes. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
on and so forth. I don't know, man. My childhood was, it was spotty for me. I think I smoked away a lot of my memory, but I mean, I got in shit like anybody else. I was a kid, I didn't have my dad raising me up. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I ran through the streets, got in
Right.
trouble, stole, got in fights, got caught, lost fights, won fights, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Was your dad from Columbia, from that area too? Where's
Yeah,
your
my
dad
dad, my dad, so my dad was from Greenville, South Carolina.
from? Ah, Greenville. Okay.
Um, when I was so when me and my brother were born, our dad was transitioning off of death row,
Mm, mm.
and
How was that, man? Going through that.
oh shit, I don't know. I mean, I really couldn't give you that detailed description, but
Right,
from
right.
his perspective,
Well,
you
well,
know what
well,
I'm
well, I mean,
saying?
what I mean is from yours, going through it, from seeing what he had to go through. Do you kind of recollect any of those feelings you could see him going through during that time?
So I remember, hey, bro, you remember this? Um, remember driving up to
Let's say, bro, say
Columbia.
shout out too.
Yeah, shout out my brother Dre.
Shout
Um,
out Dre, Big Dre.
yeah, man. So
Eddie.
yeah, that Eddie
Yes,
Donald.
sir.
So I'm a so hey man, cut it out. Um, so with all that being said, right? So I remember we would ride up to Columbia to like spring breaks and summer times.
Hmm.
And my mom would drop us off to our stepmom, his wife.
Right.
Our stepmom Delphine. And Delphine, like we would go to her house, but then she would be like, all right, we got to go pick up your daddy.
Hmm.
So we would go drive like 45 minutes, an hour, maybe a little bit more to the jail.
Mm.
But he didn't come out of the jail. He came out of the apartments in front of the jail, right? So they had like apartments with trustees and um, inmates that were transitioning out. And yeah, he got in the car like still had his little jail jeans on and his button up, and he get to go home for a whole spring break week.
No, he was a weekend visitation.
Weekend visitation. But that nigga was there for like this. Oh, he was. You're right, right. So we would be there for spring break. He'd be there for Saturday and Sunday, and then Sunday night, Monday, he'd be gone.
But sometimes he would pick us up in
And then,
Charleston.
yeah. But then when he finally got off them papers and he finally was out, and we would see him every day. But we still didn't know that the nigga was in prison. We didn't know that he was on parole for the rest of his life.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying? We didn't even know that he was an addict. You know what I mean? My brother was the one, like, well, our oldest brother and sister, all, they experienced a different side of him. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
They experienced him as an addict. We didn't have to live through that. We didn't have to see that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
But
right,
we suffered in that due to the absence.
right. He
You
was
know
in a
what I'm
half. He
saying?
was in like a halfway house during this time.
Go to your cage. Go to your cage. Now. Nah, he wasn't in a halfway house. He was
on the jail campus.
he was on the jail campus.
Oh, like a jail camp. Okay, right, right.
Yeah, he was on the jail campus, like on the front side. Like when you pull up to the jail,
Hmm.
they got apartments in the front.
Oh, right, 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 right,
So they got apartments in the front, and then they got the door where you could go in and get searched. And I'm here to see brother such and such or whoever, and then you
right,
go through
right.
the metal detectors. Then you go back to the actual jail. But
Hmm.
like I said, like we didn't know that. We were 8, 9 years old. We didn't know none of that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like however, as life went on,
Mhm.
we wasn't really sheltered from anything. It's just that
Right.
parents don't tell 9-year-olds your daddy in jail.
Well,
Not back
I,
then.
I read something. I read something that your father was part of the Muslim faith. Did he get that in jail while he was in prison, or was he already part of the faith before?
So the more you grow up in life, and you can have a grudge against your parents, or you can want
Hmm.
to peel back them layers.
Right.
So we started to get to know our father, on our individual roads and routes. And Islam definitely saved our father's life.
Mm.
Islam is the reason our father ended up, um, I don't want to say it like that. A technicality is the reason my father got lifetime parole and got off of death row.
Mm. Mm.
And he was the first black man to do it
Oh, word, word. That's heavy.
in the state of South Carolina. So
Mm.
this is what happened to him. And I'll tell you how he found Islam in the process of everything happening. He all right. So in the 70s or maybe the 60s, my
Hmm.
dad went to prison for murder, committing
Mm.
murder in the commission of a robbery.
Mm.
So put that out for him. So that him and two other brothers, they was robbing, and these when I say two other brothers, I mean these two cats were actually blood brothers. So they was robbing a cat at the pizza joint like midnight. Right after the cat that they was robbing, the cat had just proposed to his girl. This is what the news article said. He had just proposed to a girl. They pulled up on him. They robbed him. The guy made some kind of move. Gun went off. He got shot. He died. The brothers, they blamed everything on my dad. My dad took the charge. They sentenced him to death. The news clipping literally described what my grandparents and my great grandparents experienced while they sat in the courtroom listening to this story. Listening to the horrific details of the murder and the judge sentencing our dad to death. So he stayed in prison for, I don't know, a long ass time. You know what I mean? A long ass time. I don't really know when he fully got out on that, but I know by the time we were 8 or 9, he was going back and forth. And he was transitioning out. He found Islam somewhere between getting sentenced to death and appealing his case and coming out. He went
Right.
in Leon Thomas. He
Mm.
came out Mubarak al-Mu'id.
Ah. Ah.
Mubarak Abdul al-Mu'id. And the name al-Mu'id means redeemer,
Mm.
restore, as one of Allah's attributes.
Oh.
Um, so with that being said, our dad went through a whole tumultuous life of addiction. And when he finally kicked the habit, he kicked the habit in a veterans home, but he kicked the habit by meeting a woman that changed his life by the name of Linda Faye. And Linda Faye was an addict as well. And Linda
Very
Faye
dope.
came to the masjid to curse all the Muslims out. And when she walked in there, her words were that the glory of Allah was just so strong. She just stopped what she was doing and fell on her face and started crying. And my daddy saw her and picked her up. And my daddy married her right there on the spot in the
Wow.
masjid. And
Wow.
then they went on a vacation. And my dad was living in the Austin Wilkes Veterans Home at the time. And he told her, give him this amount of time, he'll be out of the Veterans Home and have a house. And sure as shit, right around that time, I was about 16, 17. I'm living in Charleston. So when I met her and I met him again, I had just got jumped at the radio station and I had got out of jail for that shit.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, so from 8 to 16, that we didn't really have a lot of conversation and contact with our dad. Our dad was there through our elementary school years. Financially, he was saying, "Low, $200 a month for me and my brother and my mom. Make sure we get that." He come down as much as he can. He pull us up as much as he can. My brother went and lived with him for like a school year or two, and he came back and told me that the nigga was on drugs. Then we just went through our shit. You know what I mean? And then we grew up. So, by the time I was 14, 15, I was learning how to write songs and
Right.
figuring out that.
Well, before you jump the gun on that, I'm glad you segued into that. Tell me about your first connection to music. Just before, not even writing a rhyme or getting in there. Just your first connection to music, where you was like, man, listen, I like this. I'm feeling this. You know what I'm saying? Who was the artist? What was the time? Can you tell me the feelings, if you remember? And about how old you were.
I was in the 6th grade. I was in the 5th grade going to the 6th grade. We were spending the summer in Columbia with our daddy. We was in Tiffany Gardens. My brother was outside all day kicking it with his homeboys. I didn't really have no friends up there. So I would listen to tapes. I stole a couple of my sister's tapes. My older sister, Nikki, I stole a couple of her tapes from the house, brought them up there with me. But also when I got up there, my brother had tapes. My brother had Dayton Family. My brother had 8 Ball MJG. My brother had Brother Lynch Hung.
Oh man, Brother Lynch
Hung.
He
had Bone. He had the Menace to Society soundtrack.
Classic.
He had the show soundtrack.
Pop Without, Poetic Justice.
He had all the dope movie soundtracks like Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice. Fucking he had Tupac's first album. So I was sitting in the house and I was listening to Dayton Family. And I think it was either Dayton Family or Brother Lynch Hung. And this gonna sound fucked up, right? But but this is what made me say, I think I could do this when I was like in the 5th or 6th grade. I think I was listening to Brother Lynch Hung and or Dayton Family. But the brother was like, you gotta let a bitch be a bitch. They say, you gotta let a bitch be a bitch. And I was like, that's what this nigga rapping about? I can do this. But when it happened, I was looking directly at a girl that was sitting in my living room that had liked me. So when I said it, this is when I knew music really moved us, because she was like, you called me a bitch. You was looking directly at me when you said it. I was like, if music really fucks with people like this, I need to do music.
Right.
And like Christmas of like 1991 or some shit, my dad asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I told him I was gonna be a famous rapper. And
Mm.
they bet me I couldn't rap, and I spit my first rap. I don't remember it, but I spit my first rap before I was in the you know even knowing how to write a bar. I just
Right.
could spit my first rap,
Oh,
and
that Christmas. It's so
by the time I was fucking seventh, eighth grade, I could memorize raps that I like.
Right.
Bone Thugs. I could memorize Pac. I could
Hmm.
memorize fucking a couple of Pope Pimp songs, and you know what I'm saying. So I was like, man, shit, I think I can do this. You know, and before the sixth grade was over, I was writing songs because my homeboy Bishop from West Ashley out of Ardmore, he was the only nigga that could really rap, and he said everybody was gonna rap. It was the summer of whatever 90 year that was, probably 93.
was that CE
Yeah, it's like probably 93. I'm all right, and I spit my first rap, and everybody was like, "Damn, that's cold, that's cold, that's cold." It was always freestyle. I was always a freestyle rapper. Like I say, by the end of the sixth grade school year, I was writing in my journal, writing songs. And when my teacher, Miss Freeman, went over in the cafeteria, they have that school bus hold because the buses be late, so everybody gotta kick it in the cafeteria. Sixth graders over here, seventh and eighth graders over there. So I'd be moseying around the cafeteria, fucking with all the eighth graders and the seventh graders, because my brother wasn't there no more, but my brother had a big reputation. So I'm trying to be like my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking with all the older niggas that's still there. I'm freestyling on them niggas, letting them niggas hear bars and shit. But I look across the room and I see Miss Freeman walking to my pad. And I say, oh shit, she gonna find them raps when I've been cursing. And man, she must have looked at me like with the eyes of Jesus pierced through my soul, man. Shout out Miss Freeman, my great teacher, man. Miss Freeman had them eyes that would just make you tell her the truth, man. She had the Wonder Woman lasso in her eyes, man. I'm trying to tell you. Why do you curse so much? She was like, "Why do you curse so much?" I said, "I just be writing what I see in my neighborhood, and I write what
Hmm.
I imagine sometimes about you know my life." And
Right.
she was
Right.
like, "You can say all these things without cursing. I told you quit all that whining. I'm gonna send you in the cage, boy. Cut it out.
on the road.
Cut it out." But yeah, man. So I fell in love with music, before I was even in the ninth grade, bro. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
So
And when I
when so,
got to the
yeah,
ninth grade,
so
it was out.
when did you take it serious? Like after, okay, all right, now you told me, okay, you had all these time you writing raps in your book, you know what I'm saying? Teacher getting on you, you know what I'm saying? You memorizing these rhymes, you got you kind of got your you just kind of got your flow together, your own flow. When do you say I'm taking this serious? I need to find a studio. I'm in a studio. I need to find first because you first, when you have that first explosion of, man, I'm taking this serious. The first thing comes to your mind is, man, I gotta find a studio. I gotta find somebody making beats. What was that process like when you first came to realization?
Um,
And Hef, you can jump in anytime, Hef. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, how we flowing. You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure, for
ninth,
sure.
Yes,
ninth
sir.
grade, man. Ninth grade. I did a talent show with my homeboy Jabbar. He went by Mr. Malice, and we had to audition for the talent show, and we had the Money, Power, Respect beat,
Hmm.
and we was the last audition for the day at Goose Creek High School. We went in there, and we didn't have nothing written down. He was like, "Yo, we can't curse." I'm like, "All right, shit, we got this." And we just went in there and we just freestyled off of each other. We just freestyled off of each other. We just talked about what was going on right there in the moment and how we auditioning and this and and by the end of the beat, that was that. So when we got accepted into it, we was like, all right, so what we gonna do? It's like, all right, boom, we gonna write that shit down. And we wrote that shit down. Like we spit that shit one time and went back and wrote that shit down and then memorized it and then went and went to school the following Friday, like the following week. And we were the last performance. And when the shit came on, the beat dropped. We got up there and Malice started doing this thing and everybody's rocking. By that time, I literally got to say, I had already set a reputation for myself as being a dope rapper and freestyler in high school. Just from alternative school to coming into high school.
I was on homeschool, so I never knew how the people saw you. So when I'm walking through, before I went to homeschool, before I went and got into the hospital and got into homeschool,
right?
I remember walking from the cafeteria.
Hey, tell Dre he can get on the camera, man. That's his brother. That's his bro Dre talking. Tell Dre he can come on, tell the story, man. You know what I mean? We want to hear, this no holds bar on the produce department.
Peace and love.
Peace.
So I remember as I'm walking through the courtyard, you know how the little kid, you know how they be ciphering. Right, so, I didn't know my brother could rap on the level of like how everybody else saw it as like, yo, that's it. I just saw him spitting around the house and shit. So I'm walking through the courtyard and he over there killing a nigga in the cipher. I see them nigga reacting. And that was kind of my first peep at it, as far as the level of his ability to just, handle his own out here. Like that's his calling. That's how he sees himself. So from there, he's always had that persona. He's always had that. He's been his own doppelganger.
Go to your cage. Go to your cage.
He sits here and, creates this
cage,
way of how he's become who he is. And I'm like, from that point, I got married, I moved away. So every time I come back in town visiting, he's doing shows, he's dropping music on me. And I mean, I'll take his shit and I'm in Louisiana. I'm in whatever state my ex was married.
You jumping the gun. You jumping the gun.
Okay.
You jumping the gun.
Yeah. But
jumping the gun.
You was giving it to me. You gave me the juice.
You jumping the gun. So,
hey, bro, proud of you. That's all.
Yeah, bro always go, bro rock my music.
Right.
Religiously. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate that, like for real. So yeah, man, we did the talent show, man, and like I set Goose Creek ablaze with that rap shit. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna say that when I came to Goose Creek, it wasn't nobody really rapping in Goose Creek. If there was anybody rapping in Goose Creek. And like I said, if you was new to Goose Creek High School, and first thing I want to know is, can you rap? Can you rap? What you want to do? And we get into it. So 9th grade,
not you was rolling up on them like that.
I was running up on it.
Hey, so let me ask you. So if no one was rapping in Goose Creek, right? How did you start to bubble so fast then? How did you really start to really get your name out of there? As far as in the city, if nobody in this area, Goose Creek, was really rapping, like how did you really get your buzz so fast? You see what I'm saying?
Right. So I didn't know nobody in Goose Creek, but I have the ability to make friends real fast. We was coming from downtown. So my brother had homeroom with a partner of mine that wasn't my partner at the time. They were friends. When he met me, I was already rapping, doing my thing. He took me to the hood. We go to the hood. I'm rapping in the hood. Again, if anybody's rapping, they're not rapping. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and at this time in Goose Creek, for some reason, wasn't fucking with anything outside of Goose Creek. You know what I mean? Like they wasn't fucking with Charleston. They wouldn't, they wasn't leaving out their comfort zone. So at any rate, the more I would rap in high school, the more I would be in freestyle sessions, the dope boys out the hood, they would throw parties. They would throw parties. I would show up to the parties. Hey, Ish, we got the motherfucking instrumentals. Hey, give Ish the mic. Let Ish rap. So at every house party, I'm pulling up, coming through. That it go from house parties to clubs. They start invested in clubs in Goose Creek. I'm into clubs performing. All this shit for free and for notoriety. In the process of that, these brothers start their own production company. They convert certain parts of their houses into studios. They start investing into equipment. None of us know the business. But everywhere Chill Productions goes and all that goes, I'm right there rapping. Now they little cousins is rapping, and now my homeboys out of St. Stephen's, they been had bars, and they mom do music, and they do music, and now they coming into Goose Creek because they been up there in the country doing their thing, and they like, shit, y'all got clubs down here, so let us come down here because they not letting us perform in the clubs out there. So now, you got Torture Boy, you got Wild Child, you got Ish who go by Soldier, you got everybody out of Charleston is consistently doing it.
This is the first lineup that from the label right here. That first lineup of that you naming of all y'all.
I mean, I can't really call that a label because Torture Boy and Wild Child, them boy been the best kept secret. They been doing their thing, like I say. When I was in Goose Creek High School, nobody wasn't rapping like that. The only person that had a deal in our age group was Firstborn. Only person.
I forgot.
Only person. And he was doing shit with Cash Money.
Yeah,
he was fucking with Young Buck before Young Buck ever had a deal with anybody.
I remember he had those ads in the Source magazine.
Firstborn is the reason Young Buck or Tim and Terrell taking Firstborn to that level, and Tim and Terrell pushing Young Buck and DT, and them being around Baby and Slim. And me coming into Goose Creek and meeting Firstborn's daddy, and Firstborn daddy saying, damn, let me get you over here with me. Let me manage you. Now I bring in Willie, I bring in G. Now we a group. Now we on tour. Now we moving. Now this shit is beyond house parties. Now we seeing Pastor Troy and Rhonda, and we in Deion Sanders Atlanta Live Club, and we kicking it with Andre and CeeLo.
Don't take me that far that fast. Now take me.
But this is all before I'm 17.
So at this time, what studio were y'all at? Who was making the beats at
my
time?
first studio session, to answer your question from earlier, was Angel at Shaka Tracks. After the talent show, I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I gotta find a recording studio. I need to get in the studio. My mama paid for my first studio session. Mama took me on Ashley Phosphate Road to Shaka Tracks with Angel and his lovely wife, and I went in there with a half-written song called Rhyme Breaker, and I spit those bars and I freestyled the rest. And Angel said, that was tight, but it could be tighter, and I'm gonna show you how. And he made me sit down and write the rest of that rap down. And he made me memorize, and he said, okay, you got 30 minutes left in your studio session. Go back in the studio and rap that. And I went back in there and I rapped it. And that's how I learned how to write, memorize, and use the school English lessons to write songs. It's beginning, middle, and end. This is how you tell your story. You don't start telling me how to cook grits and then end by telling me how you are the best rapper in the world. I need to figure out how to finish cooking grits. So, you taught me how to stay on topic. You taught me how to do ad libs, how to verse, stop, stab, stop. And back then, they was doing 3 takes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Did y'all hear him? 3 takes where y'all going in there, 1 take,
3 takes.
And you talking shit to the engineer when he tell you to go back in and do another run. Oh, I don't want to.
Like they was doing 3 takes. We was doing 3 takes,
Yes.
Like you was doing the main verse, you was doing the main verse, a whole double up. That means you rapping the verse again. Then you doing an ad lib. Then you doing a stab. And then they left and right that shit. But today that just sounds like so much jumble up.
Right. They going in there one taking the ad libs and engineer do the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
You know who be doing that? Kevin Gates. Like if you listen to Kevin Gates music, he layers, especially like his ad libs, his in and outs. He still does that. I feel like that's why his music is so like he can have such a variety of flavors with his music because he uses some of the old school formula with the new school flow, and you see what I'm saying. So it's like when you have that history and you have that knowledge in that game, as far as just like how you set your music up with the way you talking about it, like I feel like records really come out sounding a lot more big. You know what I'm saying? It sounds a lot more like I don't want to say like as far as just like what am I trying to say? Like as far as just like the sound is a lot more full. You see what I'm saying? Like when you layer it like that, I feel like a lot of these musicians now is real quick because they getting so much music out. It's like microwave. You see what I'm saying? Like some songs don't really stick. You know how soul food stick to your stomach. You see what I'm talking about? It's missing something. You see what I'm saying? But when you go in there, you cultivate and you take those times to really take all those different takes and really go through it. And I heard another artist, Sugar Free. He said one of his OGs made him go back in the booth and retake that whole like 50 times, bro. Like he said, no exaggeration. You gotta go. He had to go back in that whole back to back to back to back to back just because I guess whoever his OG was at the time, he said it just ain't it. You see what I'm saying? You gotta keep on going back in there. So that ain't even always a bad thing. I don't think, just from my perspective, from the new school. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like artists get in that booth and they don't really like lay the record down. You see what I'm saying? Like they might say some shit, but they don't really lay the record down for real. They're not really taking their time to really cultivate the record. They just in there and they just popping it. They popping it. They punching in and all that other stuff, and that's cool and all, like the punch in and all that. But sometimes you gotta really make the record. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta go all the way through. You gotta go all the way through.
Yeah,
because you're talking about like telling the story. You're talking about like just really like formulating like artistry. Sometimes with a lot of this shit now, everything's so quick, and it's microwave, but it don't really stick like it needs to. It don't have that replay value. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna be like a timeless type hit. Like I'm sure you got music that you did years ago, and certain people, especially maybe your age group, they'll hear it, and it's gonna stick to them. They gonna remember like where they was at in life. They gonna remember like the clubs y'all was hitting at the time. They gonna remember like all that different shit. So when you take your time and cultivate and layer up, like how you saying, like sometimes I feel like them records come out sounding a lot better, man. Especially when you replaying it as far as that replay value. You get a lot more bang for your buck when you take your time. How you talking about? Not no disrespect. I ain't mean to cut you off or nothing, but that just
you good.
Up my head when
you talking real shit.
I've been in the studio a lot with Dino, and I like a lot of artists. They wouldn't like how he would make them like really make the record, cut the track. They want to take shortcuts. They don't want to do all the steps that he's telling them to do. But I noticed like when he would make them do like the extra takes and everything else like that, like the record would sound so clean. You see what I'm saying? Just because they took the extra time to do the little stuff like how you be talking about. You see what I'm saying in your stories just now.
That's
but
a good
point. That's not necessarily a bad thing, man. Like all how you saying?
It's not.
Right.
It's not.
Right. I agree.
I was just saying, like that's like him teaching me how to do that is what. Hey, man, cut it out. We're gonna go outside in a minute. Cut it out. Him teaching me how to do that, that was my first studio session, and I only got better from there. I had the opportunity to work with so many different people throughout my life, and some of those relationships I still have today. You know what I mean? And a lot of people at this point, they still, like my brother Dub Slim, Stunner from BCM, Dynamite, whenever I work with him, they allow me to be me, but they allow me, you know, they also help to keep the flow right where it need to be at, to make sure I'm in the pocket. You know, if I'm lackluster, they're gonna let me know. You know what I'm saying? If a line could be better, that's gonna always. So I've always been an Indian with the rap. I've always been one that's willing to be taught, one that's willing to listen. Now, I have my strong opinions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am not just a pushover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of times I come into the studio with shit that he'll tell you. A lot of times I come into the studio with shit that don't need to be touched. It just need to be dropped. You know what I mean? And if I'm unsure about some shit, it's probably just because I probably just needed reassurance that this is dope. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even gonna bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna bullshit. Like I've said some shit and with this rap shit. You know what I mean? But like Lil Wayne said some shit the other day. He said, I ain't gonna say it was the other day, but it was a clip that I saw. I think he said it take him like 2 months to write a song. And people was like, why? He was like, and that's probably for him, right? Not like you pay him for a feature, but that's probably for him. You know what I mean? Like for him crafting his own music to put out, right? Probably take like he's like it takes him 2 months to write a song. And then people are like, why? And he's like, I've said so much stuff that I gotta really put some thought into what I'm saying to make it that much more, you know, when I say it.
More dope, right?
So whatever the first line gonna be, got to be, you know, or you know, or
I always said that
you
first
know,
line got to be
yeah, it's got to be all of that. It's got to be
right.
all of that. It's got to be all of that.
That's because that's gonna grasp the man, grasp the man attention. But really, not just the first line, the first 4 lines. Because when that motherfucker get that first 4 with that first 2 cadence after those first 2 lines, motherfucker like, oh, that's what I'm coming with. And the beat coming the same, you know, everything gotta be that whole when you got that song, everything gotta be on point. Even the beginning of the beat, because you could be coming with some hard shit, but even if that beat ain't hard coming in, I'm like, they ain't even gonna give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like you say, it's a full sandwich. So before we get into that, so I know your journey that you had. I mean, you had a heavy career starting off with you were really one of the first artists that I heard really on the radio. You know what I'm saying? In Charleston area. So tell me, what was first? Was it your time with Firstborn and on the tour with them, was that first before you got with BCM before that journey, was that before? So take me from the time with you and Firstborn and you being on tour with them, and then take me to how you met Collins and everybody at BCM. Take me to that journey too.
We only did like 3-4 shows with First, but we didn't really perform. They was performing. Couple of shows, Cash Money was performing, and like First them was opening, you know what I mean, or they was just there to be there for the experience too. I remember we did the college, like when we did state, we did SC State. That's when it was like, yo, I got to do this forever. Like, yo, we did SC State, and that was the first time I had like ever really been to a college event where it was really that thick. And again, it was the height of hip hop, right? So it was Pastor Troy was there, Rhonda was there. They was doing their thing. They had the whole shit going up, and First them got on stage and they started rapping their songs. You know, First them had the album. It had Bun B on it. It had Willie D on it. You know what I'm saying? They had Manny Fresh on it. You know what I'm saying? Like they was that album was cold. You know what I mean? So they was out there rocking and putting some movement behind it. You know what I mean? I ran out on stage with them, man. Me, Dub Slim and G, rest in peace, G. We ran out on stage, man, and I started reaching out to touch the girls, and man, I almost got snatched off stage by them girls, man. They was about to eat my little ass alive. And I think I ain't with no more than like 120, 145, soaking wet, heart beating through my shirt. The boy had to grab me by my waistline and snatch me back, man. I said, man, I want to do this shit.
Michael Jackson.
Man, I want to do this shit forever, man. Come here. I said, man, I want to do this shit forever, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then after that, hey, bro, we did Atlanta Live. That's when I got to kick it and meet CeeLo, talk shit, chop it up with Andre 3000.
Dope,
you know what I'm saying?
Dope. Did y'all have a manager during this time, or who took y'all out there on your
Benny was our manager.
Okay.
Firstborn the manager, Benny, Desert Storm Management.
Okay.
That was our manager. Desert South, Desert South Management. He did his thing, you know what I'm saying? But I think Tim and Terrell them got locked up for like money laundering. I should made like CNN.
Damn.
And that shit just kind of folded, and years later, Firstborn, he did a few other albums, and he disappeared for a minute, and he resurfaced as like Molly Racks.
Right.
And that was a dope run, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was years down the line,
right.
With that change. But yeah, I fell in love. Those were some of my musical encounters. From there, I started linking up with Sun. Sun was an artist that was a part of Firstborn. He was a part of the group. It was Firstborn and Rising Sun, but the name of the group was Firstborn. And he and I, we were trying to get a deal. We were trying to get, everybody was trying to get a record deal back then. So we were trying to get a deal. And the only person that we knew to get deals, or at least so we thought, was Greg Epps. One of the shadiest niggas in the business. Greg had great intentions, but when he got to that board and to that door,
I one of the shadiest. Oh
man, well listen, Greg had the greatest intentions for your life. When he got you to that room, you got to that meeting room.
Right.
You got to that, man. All that shit changed when them people start talking them numbers. Greg trying to see Greg trying to get him a sweet finder's fee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that shit just was like, so we started shopping for deals, man. And Son went up there to go shop for a deal. And Son turned down a deal. Excuse me. It's been a long day. Hey, man, go to your cage. Go to your cage. Now. So Son turned down a deal. I can't say what the bread was, but he told me he turned down a deal from like Warner Brothers. So I was in the process of that. He linked up with a cat by the name of Adam Gazzola, and Adam was a real cool dude. Real cool dude. You know what I mean? And Italian, used to work for Rough Riders and work for Def Jam, and has got a lot of skin in the game. He did some production on like the Third Base album. Shout out Adam Gazzola if he ever see this. I'm looking for you, dude. I've been looking for you. I think I found you on Facebook, man. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I hit you up, man. Your business page, man. We got a link. But Adam was or still is more than likely, a super dope engineer and beat maker, guitar player and singer. And he made beats for us for free, man, and gave us a CD full of beats, a CD, bro, with like 20 beats on it. Me and Son was just picking through them beats, writing to them songs. And then we saved up all the money we had together and Son's girl. I ain't gonna lie. I think I ain't have but $100. Matter of fact, I know it. I ain't have but $100 on that trip. I had to call back home and get money and all that shit. Like I was like a little young nigga, man. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't hustling too much at that age or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So and I dropped out of school. That's another story. So at any rate, yeah, man. So we went up on that trip. We was writing the whole way. Well, I know I was. Was writing the whole way, writing the whole way, writing the whole way, writing the whole way. And we got there and we must have stayed at Son's girl, her family members. We stayed at their crib, and that was like Jersey. And we drove over to New York, and man, we ate food. Like we went to the grocery store, and then we went to another side of town. We got some weed. Adam sponsored the weed. We all pitched in on the food. Man, we came back. We ate. We smoked. That was like the first time I smoked Maui Wowie out of bomb. I must have threw up for like 5 minutes. And and then I went in the studio and I dropped like 5 records back to back. One of them was like a rock joint.
Mm-hmm.
And he was shopping our demos. You know what I mean? He was shopping our demos. And somebody stole my copy of my demo that I had when I was here in Charleston.
Mm.
And hey, shut that kid. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Somebody stole my demo, but at any rate, I in the process of recording,
Mm-hmm.
Infinity the Ghetto Child had a deal with Sony going on, and Son was going back and forth over to Never So Deep Studios to record music. I started pulling up over there with Son. They had a whole, big situation going on. Z93 was like the staple of indie music at that time. You know what I mean? Like they were given a lot of indie credit, a lot of indie music going on. But what was really going on was that, they was just gatekeeping the people that they wanted to play, and they still gave us the 4-hour slot that they gave toward local music on Sundays, but they had a Friday battle as well. So they had the top 9 at 9, and some of our songs were playing the top 9 at 9. By this time, I don't have any music on the radio. The hottest song that's playing on the radio is I'm That by Infinity the Ghetto Child, featuring KC and JoJo of Jodeci. Outside of that, it's Carolina Pathfinders, and I think Marley Marl and Marley Marl. And so with all that going on, we start going to Never So Deep Studios to record music. Son working on the demo. They start offering Son a deal. Son bring me in. Every beat they play, I'm rapping on it. Every beat, every feature, every feat. Hey, yo, hey, Soldier, you want to get on this? I'm dropping on it.
Hungry.
Hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So they're offering money, right? So they start talking money, right? So they're like, yeah, boom, we're going to meet with Sony. Yeah, we're going to get blah, 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 blah. We're going to give y'all blah. Well, really, they talking to Son.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to give you this. And like, Soldier, we're going to work a deal for you too. I'm like, all right, what's up?
Right.
Now, what's going on to make me have that type of real laid back demeanor about it is that I'm in there. Charlemagne is in there. Charlemagne the God.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Will is in there. They're like a tag team rap duo at the time. And it was their name was Charlemagne the God and the Virus. Willie Will was the Virus. Um, so the main artist, Infinity the Ghetto Child,
Mm-hmm.
was the one that had a conversation with me and was like, "Hey man, don't get caught up in the bullshit. Don't let them boys fool you. I'm just here to get this deal done and keep it moving." He was in a fucked up deal. I can't say to what degree, but
Right,
he was
right.
in a fucked up deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Today he's doing brilliant with the
Right,
music.
right.
You know, I keep up with him.
And shout out Infinity Ghetto Child, man. We got to get you on the show, man. You know, you
Yeah,
right from that's Berkeley County, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We
yeah,
got to get you on there to chop it up, man.
yeah, man. That man there killing the music festivals and more.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, he was in a fucked up deal. So
Right, right.
my demeanor about them telling me, you know, they gonna get a deal from me, and you know they gonna give my man this how many hundred thousands of dollars. Like, all right. So when it come time to go to the studio to get said money, it go from a loaf to a half a loaf, or a couple of slices. The old nigga, you better be lucky I even show you the loaf.
God
Nigga, you
damn,
can't even touch the twisty tie.
God damn.
You know? So I I'm not in the room when this conversation is being had, but I can hear the conversation because I'm in the
Now
studio.
at this time, now who's working on this deal at this time? Who are the players with this working this
So
deal?
that's Professor. They call him Doc.
Mhm.
That's Robert Evans. I'm called, I can call names because, I was assaulted and criminally arrested behind this
Oh
shit.
no, listen, this the produce department. We ain't, we
but
don't pick no jacks over here. We want the real deal. Give us the
yeah,
rundown.
but I probably gotta go put my damn gun. Probably gotta go grab my laptop charger in a second. But at any rate, got assaulted, right? So Robert Evans and Robert Evans Jr., they were a father and son duo, man. They had Never So Deep and Suicide Kings. These brothers had their label and they had some connections with Sony and doing whatever it was that they was doing. Um, they, they had a real great studio and, they ran intimidation tactics. They wanted to be the Charleston Big U and Suge before Suge. Well, Suge was already Suge before anybody had knew who Big U was. You know what I'm saying? But
No,
they
no, they
were-
they was run. They was doing it like that.
they ran intimidation tactics and factors. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Mhm.
they could have had the meeting with the
Like what
nigga.
you mean? Oh, like what you mean
They
intimidation fact?
they look. They had the meeting with my dog, right? They called us to the studio. I from downtown. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
So I
right.
I called my dog. I called my dog from downtown. Like, hey, bum, we got this meeting. He already in the north. He picked me and my boy up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
stick on him, whatever, because that's how he ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I living with my sister at the time. No weapons in her house because she don't want to play that. So I always abide by them rules.
Right, 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 right.
So my dog, son, he just focused on trying to get the money. So we could have had the meeting in the studio. Them boy asked me to wait. Them boy asked me to wait in the studio, and they had a meeting with son across the hallway. And so, like I said, the meeting went from whole loaf, half a loaf, couple slice, and the boy
Mm-hmm.
take them to the back to finish up the conversation. Now, when they get in the back, that's why I said they could have keep the meeting right where the meeting been at. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, the reason they take the meeting to the back is because he say, "Well, what about Soldier?" That's me.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Well, Soldier need to be lucky he rapping on anything at all."
Oh
And
wow.
and so should you.
Mm.
And I look over at Charlemagne, and Charlemagne say, "Yeah, man, you don't really want to go to war with Professor, man. You know, he's a doctor, he too smart, you know." I look at him and I say something to the effect of nigga, fuck all that.
Right,
like,
right. What you talking about? Right, right.
Like I get up and I go back to the front. So Shockey's sitting in the front. Shockey's sitting on the couch, the lights out in the lobby. You know, Shockey's just sitting there in the dark, chilling. This been before, this been before flat screens and, scrolling. This been ticky, ticky, tick, touch, touch. So he over there playing Snake or some shit on his phone. And he like, man, is you straight? Everything all right? And they're like, yeah, everything all right with me, So them boy brings son out to the back. And them boy takes son in the gym where they got the punching bags and the weight set and shit like that. They finishing up their meeting. And son like, nah, fuck that, man. I ain't feeling none of that, man. Y'all boy ain't talking about no real business. Y'all ain't talking about no money. Man, I'm out, man. So he come out the back and he been like, man, soldier, come on, man, let's go. So we about to leave and Doc like, hey, soldier, look here. So son like, man, that nigga ain't talking nothing but some bullshit. So I walk to the back. I'm like, what's good? He like, yeah, man, your homeboy must be smoking crack or something, man. He must be sniffing coke or something, man. Like, we trying to give this man a real position, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get this man some real money. As if I didn't just hear every fucking thing they just said.
Right. Boy, motherfuckers ain't shit, boy.
As if I didn't just hear everything they just fucking said, right?
Right.
So they like, we gonna call you next week. We got a deal for you, man. We gonna sign you to Suicide Kings, man. We gonna give you an independent artist deal. We gonna call you next week. So I've been like, all right, call me. I just knew I needed to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? So boom, niggas called me next week. Them niggas called me. Now, by the time next week come, 8 Ball and MJG done came to Kilimanjaros. I done went to Kiliman with my tape and my CD, and I'm goddamn outside, and I'm waiting on 8 Ball and MJG manager because they need to hear this shit that I got.
Right.
I put that shit in their hand. I get them boy manager number. I'm calling that nigga every day.
Right.
You know what I'm asking that nigga? Hey, man. Like, can I get a job? Can I come on tour? Like, he like, it don't work like that. Yes, it do. Hire me. Just like
Hey, I'm trying to get my foot in the door. I'm trying to get out there, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my foot in the door. I actually got I got some in the microwave. Yeah, I got some of that food from last night in the microwave. I need to eat that shit. I'm like, man, I'll put the posters up. I'll pull the girls. He's like, how old you is? 18. You can't pull no girls our age. You don't know that. I can pull the girls. Listen, I'll pull the girls. I'll wash the tour bus. I'll clean the tour bus. Like, man, look, just let me in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I meant, it ain't work out like that, but then it ended up getting closer. If I ever find this brother, Prism at work for Def Jam South. Prism probably still do work for Def Jam South. If Def Jam South is still a thing. Or he probably still work for Def Jam on some level, right? Or one of the labels. But Prism, I met him in Atlanta. And this is matter of fact, I'm jumping the gun. No, I'm not. So after I meet 8 Ball and MJG, them niggas call. Prism happened right after them niggas call. So them niggas call. I'm living with my sister. They like, hey man, yeah, man, we got this deal for you, man. Now I didn't know everything about the music business, but I was still reading the book, Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. And I'm like, well, damn, what kind of signing bonus I get? Oh, you don't get no signing bonus. I'm like, well, damn, what's going on with my creative control? Oh, well, we got creative control. Oh, well, what's up with my publishing? Well, we're gonna have 100% of the publishing. Well, I don't need none of this deal. What you mean? I'm like, well, damn, I don't get no type of signing bonus. Not $5,000, not 10, not 20, not 50, not 100. Like that's the cap is $100,000 in an independent artist deal. I have no creative control. So you telling me I get none, so I can't even negotiate that. My mechanicals, my royalties, and publishing, you're taking 100% of, and I'm writing the music. I don't want this deal. You can keep the contract.
Hey, y'all listen now. He teaching while he telling the story. Y'all listen.
But I'm still reading the book. You know what I'm saying? At this time, right? They got a new updated version too. They got like a 10th updated version because music music is what it is now. So he breaking that shit down, and that shit is like, whoa. Anyway, so he like, well, I tell you what, you don't gotta take an independent artist deal. We gonna use you for ghostwriting. And I was like, see, the operative word in that situation is use, and I don't want to be used for this particular thing. I said, well, what you can do is you can keep all them verses. Like, I don't even want no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna pay my homeboy. You lied to him. I don't want you. This is how I'm handling the conversation. This is a grown ass man I'm talking to at the time. So I don't know what exactly he got going on in the background with Sony. I don't know what he done told him, right? But I hung up the phone. So he called me back. I'm like, hello? He like, Soldier, listen, man, I need you to either sign this deal or do this ghostwriting with me, man. I'm like, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I'm gonna stay independent. I'm gonna shop with them folk in New York. I'm gonna shop with them folk in Atlanta. I'm gonna just move around. I ain't fucking with you though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna regret that. I hung up the phone on the nigga. So the nigga caught my homeboy like a couple weeks later, like maybe a month later. The nigga caught my homeboy, Torture Boy. Caught him like at the red light by the mall. Like pulled up on him, jumped out on him, drew guns on him. Was like, yeah, tell that nigga, when we see that nigga, tell that nigga it's beef, tell that nigga it's war. And I remember that so vividly because like my man Torture pulled up in my house, in his 1998 Sunfire. You know what I'm saying? Nigga pulled up in the Sunfire, mad, heaving, like ready to go shoot them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we need to go over here. We need to go to Sun House. So we go to Sun House. We tell Son what happened. Son girl, like these some grown ass boys. Like they put like y'all, like me and Torture Boy, we ain't even 21 yet. You know what I'm saying? Like 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? Son like 24, 25. You know what I'm saying? Or 22, 23, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she son girl Brandy, she shit, she hot. You know what I'm saying? Like she don't like she put up, she like, hey, yeah, she get that nigga the key, like y'all go to, we go see our homeboy Cam. Cam got all the guns. So and Cam the oldest. Cam like literally Cam's the oldest. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Cam was like 30 something. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So we go to Cam house. We telling Cam, we call Cam, he ain't home. He at his girl house. We got to drive to Somerville. We go to Cam girl house. We over there chilling. We tell Cam what happened. So Cam like, call that nigga, man. Ask that nigga why he threatening y'all. Just ask him why he threatening y'all. So I call him. Call the studio. And pick up like never so deep. I say, yo, this Doc? I say, yeah, this Doc. I say, Doc, this Soldier. He said, what's up, Soldier? So his girl pick up, my homeboy Cam, his girl pick up the other phone. She was older than Cam. She was like 40, you know what I'm saying? Or close to it. So I'm like, yo, why you pull a gun on my homeboy? That nigga said, yeah, motherfucker, when I see you, I'm a motherfucking beat your ass and da 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 da. So now my reaction to that is not, oh no, please. My reaction is, well, fuck it, bitch. When you see me, when we see you, it's on.
Right.
Like,
no, for sure.
no, fuck it. Months went by. Fucking me and son, we started going back and forth to Atlanta trying to track down his royalties because fucking Tim and Terrell got locked up, but their album, the Firstborn album, that shit was still doing numbers. We was going into the stores, we was going into different record stores, and it was just one CD left on the shelf. Yeah. And we like, he started asking questions like, "Hey, who replenishing the CDs?" And they like, "Oh, such and such replenishing the CDs," and he like, "Oh, well, such and such is old boy's girl." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he started getting in touch with a lawyer. We started going down to Atlanta. We started hollering at this entertainment lawyer by the name of Kirk. We went to Kirk's office. He's a black dude. We went to Kirk's office, man. Kirk had it fucking going on, bro. Kirk had everybody plaque on his wall. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Peter Tosh, Mary J. Blige. Kirk was like, "Hey, man, yeah, man," because Kirk, like, I spoke to you on the phone. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, that's old girl. Yeah, I put my private investigator on her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She down in Miami right now. I talked to the record stores that she supposed to be coming back in 2 weeks. Yeah, he said, yeah, for $500, I can get your royalties for you." Mm-hmm. I looked at the books. This is how much money you got, I don't know what bruh ever. I know what Molly Rax did. I know Molly Rax I got his royalties. I don't know what bruh ever did. But then Tim and Terrell came home, and now that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like them boy, they did. I from what I hear, they did the right thing. With everybody we were supposed to get in touch with. You know what I'm saying? So we going back and forth. We trying to find his royalties. We stop in DeKalb County Mall. This one, Mr. Don't Play, was out. Project Pat. And I had lived by that Mr. Don't Play. You know what I'm saying? That gorilla on a hoe, don't save her. I was like,
classic album.
Man, riding everywhere I go, top 5 CDs that's in there. So we taking a bathroom break. We swerving through the mall, take a bathroom break. Using the bathroom, taking piss, rapping the Project Pat. Rapping the gorilla on a hoe. Nigga in 2 stalls down from me, he finishing off the boss. I'm like, "Hey, son, that's you?" Son say, "No. I know. I keep rapping." Finish up, wash my hands. That nigga come from around. He wash his hands. He finish up the balls. We laugh. We share a Project Pat moment. I'm like, "Hey, man, what's your name?" He like, "Man, my name Prism, man. I work with Dept Damn South. I'm in the mall setting up promotion for Jay-Z's Blueprint album."
Okay.
Son come out the bathroom. He wash his hands. So he say, "What's your name?" I said, "Man, my name's Soldier." He say, "What's your name?" Pointing the sun. Son say, "Rising Sun." That nigga say, "Firstborn?" Say, "Yeah." Nigga say, "Scarface been looking for you." So, so nigga 2-way Scarface right on the spot. "Hey, I'm right here kicking it. I found right 2-way, nigga. 2-way." Yeah. Two-way, nigga.
Real shit.
Two-way, Scarface, right on the spot. I'm right here with son. Scarface hit the nigga back. Hey, tell them niggas come back up here next week. We came back up the next week. We hit the nigga. Hey, boom. We up here. Where y'all at? We at the 6, right off of Glenwood. All right. If I don't get up with y'all tonight, I'm gonna get up with y'all in the morning. Nigga, the next morning, 9/11 happened. Atlanta was the very next city to get shut down. Like when the towers dropped,
right.
Me and son was in our hotel room. I thought I was watching a movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What was that? That was 2001, right? That was 01, right?
Bro, we sitting in the hotel room, my nigga, like we done been up majority of the night in anticipation because we done been calling, scolded. Nigga finally hit us back. He like, yeah, man, I'm over here. I'm at this party. Goddamn. Get up with y'all boy in the morning. I apologize, man. Whatever. You know, bunch of other conversations but niggas was still hopeful because like the nigga called back. You know what I'm saying? So we just like we smoking weed. We fucked around and linked up with a nigga. And you know, Atlanta. This is my first real Atlanta experience now. I'm still not 21.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, it's hoes running through the 6. You know, they tricking, they getting it in. It's niggas selling weed left and right, coke left and right. So it's a nigga running through hustling. And I come out just because I want to be outside and be nosy. I come out and smoke a cigarette. And the nigga come running through. He like, shout. I need a place to stay. I say, come on in, nigga. Let the nigga in. Like, man, running from them people, man. Man, listen, I'll be out in the morning. Everything good. I got the weed. I got the white. You know, I got nigga pull out some liquor. I got some drink. You know, I give y'all boys some money. I just need to get away from them people. I said, all right, you good, bro. You straight. We was scrap. You know what I'm saying? He scrapped. Man, listen, nigga name was Rooster. That nigga live here to this day. That nigga lives here now. But the nigga Rooster was one of the realest, coolest motherfuckers I know, bro. Like, we all motherfucker. That nigga slept on the floor. We had a double bed. That nigga slept on the floor. I gave that nigga a blanket. Goddamn, son, gave that nigga a pillow. Goddamn, woke up the next morning, my nigga. I swear to God, we went to sleep watching FX and smoking weed, my nigga. And woke up and the television was on CNN, my nigga. And I swore that shit was a movie. So when the towers fell, I was like, yo, this ain't no fucking movie. This is for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so needless to say, we never linked up with bruh after that. A lot of shit went a different way. So now we back in Charleston, and the 404 Soldiers had a show at the East Cooper Disco, and
East Cooper Disco.
Legendary. I was told that we were invited out to that show. So I pulled my sister from what she was doing to come and pick me up, take me over to Sun, drop us off to Z93. And we got over there and we sat there for about 30 minutes. And the 404 Soldiers came in and we went in the studio, in the recording studio with them and they had their interview. And they literally said out their mouth, yeah, man, we're going to East Cooper Disco to watch Soldier and Son do their thing. So I was like, oh shit, this is really happening. It's like, damn, this is really happening. You know what I'm saying? Fucked up part is that we didn't have a ride to East Cooper Disco. We only had a ride to Z93.
Wasn't no Lyft, no Ubers around that time.
Wasn't no Lyfts and Ubers, baby. Nah. And apparently, you know, I'm the only person with a connection because Son don't got no cab money or a ride.
Damn.
So I called Sean waiting on my nigga Cam. Ken waiting on his girl to come home. He's over there. You know what I'm saying? She had the car. He waiting on her. So while we waiting, Professor's son, Bless, comes in the radio station. Mm-hmm. And he like, yeah, what up, soldier? You still rapping? And I'm like, you still make beats? He like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, there you go. So he like, hey, Will, let me holler at you. So him and Will go outside, Willie Will. Mm-hmm. So I look at son, I say, hey, we need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I know it. We need to go now. And he's like, nah, man, you tripping, man. We just gotta wait on Sean. Nah, nigga, we need to get the fuck out of here. We can wait on Sean anywhere. Right. We need to get the fuck out of here now.
Immediately.
So, at any rate, motherfucking Willie Will come back in. It seemed like DJ Bless left. So DJ Bless, he's sitting outside in the truck with his dad. Willie Will, he's about to sign off the air. DJ Cass and Shasha, they about to come on, and they about to do an interview with Craig Mack. Rest in peace, Craig Mack. Because you know Craig Mack is from South Carolina. So they about to do an interview with Craig Mack. So Craig, he come in the studio. He about to sit down and do his thing. Willie Will, he come out, he whip out his two-way. He like, oh yeah, man, you know, I got to set up this mission with this girl tonight. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Whole time, in my mind, I'm saying that nigga two-way and Bless. He telling Bless he about to leave. Because I told son, I said, yo, son, them niggas setting us up, bro. I'm telling you. Them niggas just went outside and set a plan in motion. I just went outside and smoked a cigarette, yo. The nigga's truck is outside. We need to get the fuck out of here now, nigga. I'm telling you. He like, nigga, what you mean? I'm like, all right, nigga, come outside. Nigga, come outside. He see the shit. Now, when he see the shit, now we need, now you see it. Oh, no, now you see it. No, right. Nigga, don't panic now, nigga. I just told you we need to get the fuck on through. So I'm calling Sean. Sean like, yo, I finally get in touch with Sean. Sean like, yo, my girl, she just pulled up. I'm on the way. You know what I'm saying? Hold on right quick, bro. Hold on. Excuse me right quick.
Yeah, y'all, man. I'm glad y'all appreciate y'all joining us, man, chopping it up with us. Got my dog, the O, on here, breaking down his whole rundown about his experience, man, with his career with this music. You know what I mean? Y'all make sure y'all got y'all pens and papers together, man. It's communiversity in order, man. You know what I'm saying? You still take your notes and listen to what he's saying, man, even though through the stories, make sure you seeing what's going on. We got a lot of our young brothers, young sisters trying to be artists, trying to get involved in the music. You know what I'm saying? That no change. Rules still the same. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you come correct. Make sure you're doing the right things through the whole process. But we got O back. What's happening, family? You muted, bro. Unmute yourself.
What part of the story was that?
He was talking about Willie Will was saying he had somewhere to go.
So
right.
So he had to go. He claimed he had to go meet this chick, but you know, I knew they were setting us up because right after the Craig Mack interview, not even 15 minutes, they came busting in there, and you know, they was whipping on my homeboy's son, and you know, the DJ was standing there with his arms folded, you know, acting like, you know, he was standing there with his arms folded, but he was saying, no, get off him, don't do that. The whole time this was happening, I was in the bathroom rolling the blunt. So I hear the shit. So when I hear the shit, I'm literally rolling the blunt. I hear the shit. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I finished rolling the blunt. I look in the mirror. I say, I got two choices. Because I already knew what the choices were. Because I had already scoped this whole shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the bathroom. So I'm like, I look out the door. When I look out the door, the DJ standing there like this, watching them boy beat my homeboy. No, get off him. No, y'all boy, don't do that. No, stop that. Literally in that manner. I look across the hallway. The door is open. The window's right there. The skating ring is right across the parking lot. The skating ring is wide open tonight. The police are too deep over there. I could run through this door, open the window, jump out the window, run across the parking lot, go get the cops, bring the cops back over here, and stop this situation mid ass whooping. That's what I could do. Or I could run down there against two niggas that are probably a combined weight of 600, probably 600 pounds, maybe 650 a piece, all together. So that's 325 a piece. And get my ass whipped with my homeboy. So that's exactly what I did. I ran down that aisle like the ultimate warrior and ran straight into battle like Braveheart. Just went in and got my ass whipped. And while I got my ass whipped, I mean, as soon as them niggas got their hands on me, my homeboy got up and ran into the DJ booth and picked up the phone and called the police and watched them niggas beat my ass.
Damn.
And stayed on the phone with the cops until they came. Yep, I got thrown through a glass door. Yeah. I got beat with sticks. Not one time did them niggas touch me with their hands other than throwing me through a glass door. I got beat with sticks by two niggas that were massively bigger than me. Because I wouldn't sign a deal.
Right.
I'm that fucking dope.
So after this happened, did you what was your next step to pursuing music? Did you go to BCM right after that? Did you say, damn, man,
I went to jail right after that. I went to jail that night because I called the cops eventually.
Right.
I called the cops. DJ Cass said, DJ Cass said, "Are you okay? You about to call the cops?" I said, "Well, I done called two of my homeboys, so whoever the fuck get here first,
right.
Them niggas about to die,
right,
and you gonna die too."
Right, real shit.
Fuck.
Hef, you
You don't
muted.
think he didn't think I saw. He didn't think I saw it. You see what I'm saying? He didn't think I saw him standing there. But the whole thing is that it took me 10 years to put that whole story together. I'll get to that in a minute. But at any rate, the police came. When the police came, I was arrested.
Right.
Because the police officer that came on the scene was one of their Masonic buddies or some shit like that. So over the years, as my lawyers, I went through like 3 different lawyers over the years with that case. All of them niggas either retired or completely just backed away from the case. That's how much stroke them niggas had. That's how much stroke them niggas had. I can say this. I can say that when I got bonded out of jail, matter of fact, I can say this. I can say that I decided to save a nigga that let me get my ass whipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then I allowed my lawyer to represent both of us in bond court. And that's the only reason I had to get a bond is because this nigga had a prior resisting arrest charge.
Mm.
And then I bond out of jail and have a copy of the police report of where all these niggas stay. Everybody. And my mama begged me to not kill them niggas.
Right. Right. Right.
My mama took me to go get the gun.
Mm.
That's how down my mama is for me. But when my mama got me home and knew I was about to step back outside that door without her, she couldn't let me go.
Right. Right.
Begged me. And before I knew it, my godfather was at my house. I didn't even know she had called that nigga. I don't even know when she called that nigga.
Mm.
But yeah, begged me to not. I can't say, you know, that I wouldn't kill them niggas today.
Right. Right.
I can't say I will or wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that if I see any one of them bitches in Walmart, Chick-fil-A, the airport,
It's on.
it's up.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking up.
Right. Right.
It's up. It's just up because you damaged a spirit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
For the sake of not doing what you wanted them to do. Like again, whatever you had going on with Sony, really had nothing to do with me. But after that, was fucking with Adam Gazzola.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adam got us to Colin.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of not even us, got me to Colin. Which cycled me right back around to Greg fucking Epps.
Right. Right.
Greg was in DCM.
How was that running back into him again?
Well, that's who was getting them all the meetings in shit, man. Like,
right.
That's who was getting them all the meetings. So, DCM was going to be Image Records. Image Records was the first 360 deal. That's what that would have been. But it was all the way up front, putting up all the money, covering all the recording costs, taking care of all your graphics. I'm paying for your travel.
Right.
I'm paying for your wardrobe.
They want everything back. They want everything from you.
I just want 50% of everything you make.
God damn. Shows, show money, everything.
Everything. You get a deal. You get a sponsorship deal with Colgate. I need 50%.
50?
Until when?
Right.
Until when? That was my only question. I never had a problem with it.
Oh, you was willing to give up the 50.
I make music.
Right. You like, fuck it, I get the shit back.
I make music. What the fuck? Is this the only thing I'm gonna make?
Right.
No.
Exactly. Right.
Just answer the question. For how long?
Still was an unfair deal. You know what I'm saying? Even if you would accept it, still was unfair. That's a lot, man.
Yeah. I had a problem with the shit about as far as you getting a piece of something that is not music related.
Correct. Right.
Music? All right. 50%.
And that's crazy that he was talking that back then.
Okay, but okay, so look, right? Also, but then look at it like this. I don't gotta give you 50% of everything, but I can give you a piece of the Colgate deal. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
I give you a piece of the Colgate deal because if you had not spent the money on the music,
I wouldn't have been here where I'm
would
at.
have got the Colgate deal.
Right. But let me negotiate that with you though. You know what I'm saying? Right.
You see what I'm saying? So my whole, but again, my whole thing was for how long?
Right.
You see
And
what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
you was asking. Right.
Also, but see, again, I didn't care about it. I signed that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Adam even told me not to sign the deal. I signed the deal because I wanted the deal. It's in Charleston. It's right here.
Right. It's home.
It's here.
Right.
You know, I'm 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm about to be 20.
Right.
No, I'm 20, about to be 21, and I'm about to get married at that time. So, so my wife, like, she mad I signed the deal.
Right.
But I knew what I need. I just knew what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I kept getting in trouble. I kept getting in trouble. I kept going to jail for dumb shit, driving under suspension, habitual offender, riding around them getting it. I'm riding around them getting it, just fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And one of the niggas to bail me out and was like, "Oh, you already got me in a fucked up contract. You know, it's a conflict of interest. You know, my manager and my engineer, you know, let me out my contract if you ain't bonding me out of jail." Niggas ain't bonding me out of jail. I got out.
Right.
When I got out of jail, nigga handed me a release form. With the release form, didn't say one word. Had a whole stack of my new projects sitting right there. We can keep going or you can get released. What you want to do? I was so pig-headed, I signed the release. Now, this man was already told not to do 360 deals. He was already told not to spend his money, not just on me, but on a litany of other artists that were there at the time. And everybody fucked up. Young, dumb, ignorant. Everybody fucked up in their own way. Everybody fucked up. Everybody got blacklisted too. Nobody else knew. Nobody else knew they were blacklisted. I don't think these niggas to this day know that they're blacklisted because none of them really do music.
Right.
Everybody does something else and they're very successful at it. One of my niggas from that particular situation, they still make beats and they still cold. They rap from time to time and they still nasty as fuck, but that's not their thing. Everything has always led me back to music, right? So I quit music.
Hold on, before you get too far, I want to talk about that. I want you to speak on how did you find out that you and your partners were blacklisted? Because I know about situations, and I done experienced some situations like that in the game. You know, as far because people don't really understand or really believe that's a thing. You know that you could actually be blacklisted or it's certain groups that'll speak on you or whatever else, and folks won't touch you. You could be talented, you could be whatever. You see what I'm saying? So how did you come to that conclusion?
Nobody would take my money. I couldn't get no interviews. People was like, "Who you talking about? Oh, that kid? Yeah, we ain't fucking with that kid." Period. That's just that. But I didn't find that out until I started poking my head up to try and do something else. You know, trying to get back into music on my own. Like, you know, my wife before she passed away, you know, when I got out of the deal, she was like, you knew, you know, was diagnosed with MS, and she was like, you know, you need to stop doing this music right now. You know, shit's real. You got to be living in a hotel. You know, you're working right here. You know, if you're gonna do it, you need to do it yourself. And
shout out Apache too. Rest in peace.
Shout out Patchy, my late wife Patchy. I ain't even gonna front. I was going to work and sneaking to the studio to record music. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I stopped rapping for her for like a year and a half, 2 years. And my man had the studio up the street. Jay Black, rest in peace, Jay Black.
Rest in peace, Jay Black, legend.
I would go to his studio and record. I'm coming, boy. I'm coming. I'm coming. I would go to his studio and record. But then my brother had the studio right up the street with Akeem Anastapulo. He had King Chuck Records.
The lawyer Akeem Anastapulo had a studio.
Yes, sir. King Chuck Records.
That's what's
documented, bro. You can go into Apple Music and type in King Chuck Records, and you will find a whole album produced, beat, engineered by my brother Dub Slim. The lead single off that is called "The Bubble Butt."
Shout out Dub coming to the show too. Shout out Dub.
Yeah, like the actual physical CD on the back of the cover had Akeem Anastapulo throwing up the dub. So, but bro would always catch me at the wrong time,
right?
Because he would catch me at the wrong time. Like he'd call me, I'd be around Patchy. Like, you need to come to the studio, man. Oh shit, not right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Then when I call back, he ain't there. Then when I fully jump back into the music. Right around the time me and Apache got out of the hotel. I had a co-worker, an old school co-worker by the name Darnell. He let me stay with him. So we moved in. He had a big old house. He paid for some room space. You know what I'm saying? And hey, look here, man. You got to stop all this goddamn. Come on. Come on.
He acting like he want to be on the show, man.
Sit down. You gotta stop all that fucking whining, for real. So yeah, he let us stay with him, man. And come here, boy. Come here. So he let us stay with him, man. So we stayed with him. We got our bread up, you know what I'm saying? And then, I got an apartment and shit like that. But by that time we were separated, you know what I mean? She went off into I think she went to Ohio to like a multiple sclerosis center. She came back different, you know what I mean? She came back different. While she was gone, we stayed in contact via telephone call, you know what I'm saying? But I was still, me and my brother Dub Slim, we was recording music, you know what I'm saying? We was working on building up a home studio and shit like that. And we had put a mixtape together. We was recording at Dro's studio, when Dro was recording out of his mom's house, you know what I'm saying? He was running straight drop out of his mom's house. He was recording over there. We was getting beats off the internet, and bro was making beats on Fruity Loops. Then I went over to Sean Dobie. We matter of fact, we put out 2 mixtapes. We put out The Matrix, and then we put out The Matrix Reloaded. And that was just like a combination of different beats. And in the process of that, we ended up getting a USB mic, a studio program called Magix, and some studio monitors, some vocal monitors from Guitar Center. And man, we was off to the races. You know what I'm saying? I was writing them motherfuckers left and right and dropping them. He showed me how to record myself, and he ended up getting locked up on some bullshit. And he was gone for like a year. So I was just in that motherfucker recording every day. I had 2 hard drives, and I was in that bitch recording every day. I was putting projects out, recording over all the dope instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? And I started working on my Legendary album. He ended up getting out. I started working on my Legendary album, and we went to Sean Dobie. Shout out Sean Dobie. Sean Dobie used to run the studio Power Tracks. I used to record at Power Tracks too. When Ghetto D had Power Tracks. Salute Ghetto D, and rest in peace his brother Xavier. But Sean Dobie, man, I went over to Sean and I bought like 5 beats. Man, every beat Sean played for me, I rapped on. So I bought them 5 beats, and Sean gave me a sweet deal because Sean was selling beats at the time, like 120 a beat. So he gave me a sweet deal on 5 of them, man. And I went to Dro's studio, man, and I put 17 songs together. And John Urick mixed 2 of them. Highway. Big salute to my big brother Highway. He paid for my first major feature. Going Ham featuring Young Ralph. That was on the legendary album. He had John Urick master that. And this other song called I Know with my girl LT Campbell on it. So that was my first album. Dro mixed another 5 of those songs, and I mixed the rest of them myself. And I switched up from Soldier because I named myself Soldier. Well, I didn't name I take that back. I'm lying. I was named Lil Soldier by a brother out of Moose Corner by the name of Buster.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And because I always followed my brother Dub around. And so he was like, man, that's your little soldier, man. And from that, I became Soldier Boy. You know what I'm saying? And then from that, I became Soldier. So when I just became Soldier, I named myself that in a respectable manner because the only person that I respected that had that name and I felt I could pattern myself with that name after was Soldier Slim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when Slim died, a lot of people that knew me and didn't know of him, and I don't know how the hell that was, they thought it was me. My phone went off. My wife's phone went off. A lot of industry people called, you know what I'm saying? A lot of friends called, you know what I'm saying? But and then Soldier Boy Tell 'Em came out.
Right.
So Soldier Boy Tell 'Em came out. Everybody thought that was me. And I was like, no, because my name's Soldier. You know what I'm saying? And people know Soldier Boy. People know me as Soldier Boy. You know what I'm saying? So he came out with Crank That Soldier Boy. And I'm like, no, that's not me. That's a nigga named Soldier Boy. And then me and him went back and forth on Twitter. Not even over the name. We went back and forth over a hashtag that I had put up. And he accused me of stealing his brand. And I was like, damn, talk about theft. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga blocked me. So then after that, I got with BCM. You know, when I was with BCM, we put a project together. Before I got out of my contract, we had songs on the radio. They had me doing shows with Lil Flip, the Young Bloods, Music Soul Child, Rashida, KP Envy, Timberland, Goo, Mystical, Juvenile. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know. So I done been around them blocks. And, you know, while I was blacklisted, when I started jumping out there doing my music again, I had to cycle back around. It took me 10 years of being blacklisted, bro. Like, I ain't get off the blacklist until like 32, 33. I had to literally go back to BCM, holler at Colin, apologize for my young irresponsibility as a young man of not having accountability for my actions. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, he accepted my apology.
Shit.
And in that same conversation, I said, now do me a favor. He was like, what's up? I said, take me off the blacklist.
Right.
Nigga said, what blacklist? I said, the blacklist I've been on for the last 10 years, bro. Who put me on it?
Mm-hmm.
He said, oh, that nigga's retired. I said, well, you need to call that nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to tell that nigga that me and you good.
Right.
And I'm still doing my thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
need him to get out the way.
Right.
Per se. And I ain't even having no, I mean, you know, outside of independent music release,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cause that door was inevitable, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
The CD, if the CD had never went away, that still would have been a pumper, right?
Right.
Push
Mm-hmm.
that out in the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of all that, the doors open up, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know,
I've seen you with a lot of new opportunities, with a lot of new things going up, man. And I mean, that story there. That's just I
and
appreciate you sharing that story with us. That's because
that's at
not
32.
That's what I'm saying. That's like you said, 32, 33. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
like you said,
and I'm
you said
42
some,
now.
right. And from then, like you said, from basically from the blacklist time, because I remember you even telling me that when you went and talked to them, you know what I'm saying. And from now, I seen you work. I mean, you make sure everything. I mean, any show you need to be on, you dropping videos. You know what I'm saying. I seen you involved in a couple of different situations. You know what I'm saying, dealing with different small labels, but just getting closer to where you need to be. And to me, I mean, I think that's just a show of your determination, your and your I don't know, I just your go get it, just your go getterness, man. You know what I'm saying? To say that you really want this, you know what I'm saying, and just the things that you've been through, like you said, man. You mean at the joint that happened at the radio station, you could have said, man, fuck this, man. I'm fighting around this shit. I've been through 3-4 situations. I've been on a tour with Cash Money. I've been here with all these different artists, man, and man, none of this shit ain't didn't go my way like I wanted. I could just say fuck it, but you didn't, man. Your determination, man, and your love for the music and the art of the music, bro. That's that that shows, man. That shows numbers, man, with that type of shit. You know what I mean? Because like I say, any motherfucker be like, man, fuck this, man. I'm done. I seen it happen time and time again. You know, you see me with the lab. I seen motherfuckers come and go. Like I said, I've known you for a long time, bro. Every time I see you calling me, hey, Dynamite, man, hey, check this, man. I got this going on, man. I got my influence line, my influence, my clothing line going on, bro. Hey, check it out. Hey, Dynamite, man, I got a show. I got a show next week, man. Dynamite, I got a video shoot. It's always something constantly going. So to me, you always were like the example of a real artist, man. Like the motherfucker, this the type of motherfucker determination you gotta have, bro. Because regardless what the fuck going on in the background, this what I'm gonna wake up and fucking say that I'm gonna do, bro. And you know what I'm saying? And to me, hey, salute to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's real shit. But it take a lot, man. Because like you say, we ain't even sometimes at least we know at this point we ain't especially underground artists at the time, we ain't making no money to sustain us to say, okay, we ain't working on none of this type of shit on some of us, most of us aren't. You know, some of us may be a guy that had a little chance to go in there and do this, but most of us, man, we grinding day to day. So it's easy to say, fuck it, this is something that we doing that we want to do. Not, you know what I'm saying? We also working jobs, doing other shit in the background. Like you said, you married, you going to work, you still sneaking to the lab, knowing you goddamn really got other responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it goes with us, bro. So I mean, that's that story, bro. I mean, shit, bro. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, you know, you somebody that need a light shine, or you a limelight, bro, that I feel like nobody don't really give you your points and what you should, because I appreciate what you did for the city, and not just for the city in our area, but just for artists in particular. Because if they pay attention to your grind and the story that you told, bro, they'll see a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you, man. Salute you from the produce department, family. You know what I
Thank you,
mean?
man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have
And Hef wasn't here for this. Hef, he just 2 days, well, a day ago or 2 days ago, he just did a feature with Bizarre from D12. And I'm gonna play I'm gonna play the clip. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up right now.
For sure. Yeah. That's
amazing. Salute GLK, man. Salute Bizarre. I also just did a song with OG Charlie Brown from DSGB by way of Trag Man. So that was pretty dope too. Oh, you on my YouTube page?
Shout out, shout out Trag Man.
That's my YouTube page right there. The O, aka the
page
O.
right here. I got it running at the bottom of the screen. You see it. It's IG, the Original Man 9, and his YouTube page, the Original Man, aka the Official. Make sure y'all tap in.
No, it's the original. No, it's the Original Man, aka the O.
The Original Man, aka the O. Right. Excuse me. Let me fix that. I'm gonna fix that. But make sure y'all go tap in with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Check out this joint. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he listen. He got everything, new videos, older videos on there. He got all his albums on there. When I went on there, I saw a lot of classic albums. You know what I'm saying? I saw what's the joint we did? Captain Save the Block.
Captain
that's
Save the Block.
I did the cover for that. A lot of people don't know Dynamite did the cover for that.
Yes,
you know
did.
Yes,
you did.
Yes, you did. I mean, we was in my little room, man, working on that project. I also got a song on there with him. So I remember that. Like I said, I seen the grind in my little room with the closet with the little booth hooked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My dog was right. Everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me play this so they can check this out, because this I like this cut, man. This is actually this is his verse from here. I'm gonna play him your verse, and then I'm gonna play them the whole song.
Okay.
We reppin' the 843. We came for the crown. You can ban this certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity. Clouds bone, hazy can hardly see. Bizarre reps Detroit. We reppin' the 843. We came for the crown. You can ban this certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity.
Let's go, collect go. The set I rep four. Next shot I let go. Pick up, connect four. It's the rule of GLK with the O plus Bizarre. It's a go fishing line for the hoes reeling men. I've been all through Insta, rocking shows, selling clothes, blowing fire back. I retire rappers, yes, the science back. You should hire Zach. Dub Slim, where the fire at? Yes, I got the fire pack. Shop town, where you at? The coldest on the MIC, the meanest in the streets. Cookie Monster beastin' on the beach, she leaking on the sheets. He breathing on the beach, like beating on your team. We eating on your team. We do more than dream. There's some real spitters on the team. We sell more than clean. Keep it on the beam, so you best to keep it on the beam. Chalk line, leave you on the scenes. You see what I mean? No sleeping on my jeans. It's deep within my jeans. No designer, it's just that shit hard.
That shit hard. Yeah. We came for the crown. That shit hard. Y'all ain't ready for this one. I wouldn't.
Yes, sir.
That was hard.
Let me play y'all the whole joint. I got the whole joint up too, man. I meant to put that on there so they can hear that.
How you end up linking up with them?
I was telling him earlier, my boy Ryan, man, GLK Ghost, he plugged me in on the song. It's his song. That's the kid that's rapping on the first verse. He was actually in the video. He was the kid that turned the phone to the selfie that had the hat on.
Oh,
that's
right,
GLK. Right. Yeah, that's GLK Ghost. He paid for that feature, man. You know, he put that together. My brother Dub Slim did the beat.
All right.
And you know, he ain't charged me nothing to get on it. He just asked me to get on it. That kid that had the glasses and the big bushy hair, that's Zach. That's where we recorded my part and Ryan and Ghost's part at. And Zach is a actual Grammy nominated guitarist and vocal engineer, sound engineer as well for his work on the Weezer project.
Cool.
So that was pretty dope as well.
Stop. Yeah, that's the whole joint. Yeah, that's the whole joint. I'm gonna put it on.
Stop.
Influence Life. Yeah. The O. GLK. Boom. Ha.
GLK go.
Beat hard for sure.
Ever since the trap on Percy Street, I've been grilling microphones right into mincemeat. I've been feeling kinda funky and shaking just like a junkie. So won't you please excuse me? There's a sickness in my tummy. I'm running to the bathroom, there's a path to the door. I'm trying to keep my vomit spilling out on the floor. But who would guess my sickness would be something y'all adore? Cause if I was any sicker, I'd start a damn world war. Aiming with perfection, my enemies second guessing. I'm casting the earthly essence with this Ouija board section. Give me seconds, I've almost contacted heaven. So crank it to 11, this music I'm steady severing. Electrician, way I look is a shocker. I'm a wizard of words, hip-hop's Harry Potter. And I'm down harder than a Drizzy Drake dollar, with a flow dirtier than Flint, Michigan bathwater. Clouds blown, hazy, can hardly see. Bizarre West Detroit, we reppin' the 843. We came for the crown, you can bet it's a certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity. Clouds blown, hazy, can hardly see. Bizarre Reps Detroit, we reppin' the 843. We came for the crown, you can bet it's a certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity.
Jackpot, get shot in the face. Where the money at? Come off the safe. I'm a violent man in a stolen van. Tell the cops to catch me. Catch me if they can. Look me in the face, bitch, I'll smack you. Jump over the fence and watch this pit attack you. Stay on the grind, I hustle, nigga. I'm ballin' like Bill Russell, nigga. Fuck my ops. Fuck these cops. I love these bops. I use my chops. Murder. For hire, nigga. The king of rocks. Your sire, nigga.
Clouds blown, hazy, can hardly see. Bizarre Reps Detroit, we reppin' the 843. We came for the crown, you can bet it's a certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity. Clouds blown, hazy, can hardly see. Bizarre Reps Detroit, we reppin' the 843. We came for the crown, you can bet it's a certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity.
Let's go, collect dough. The set I rep for. Lick shots, I let go. Pick up, connect, bow. It's the ruler, GLK with the O plus bizarre. It's a go. Fishing line for the hoes, reel them in. I've been all through Inkster, rocking shows, selling clothes, glowing fire pack. I retire rappers, yes, the sire's back. You should hire Zach. Dub Slim, where the fire at? Yes, I got the fire pack. Chuck Town, where you at? The coldest on the MIC, the meanest in the streets. Cookie Monster, feasting on the beach, she leaking on the sheets. We been gone for weeks, like beasting on your scene. We eating on your team, we do more than dream. It's some real spitters on the scene. We sell more than clean, keep it on the beam. So you best to keep it on the beam. Chalk line, leave you on the scene. See, you see what I mean? No sleeping on my dean. It's deep within my jeans. No designer, it's just me.
Clouds blown, hazy, can hardly see. Bizarre Reps Detroit, we reppin' the 843. We came for the crown, you can bet it's a certainty. Y'all just killing time while we murder eternity. Clouds blown.
Dope shit. Dope.
Eat your food.
Dope.
Yeah, he remind
Yeah.
me of like Logic, like
Mhm.
Eminem type
Yeah.
vibe for sure.
Right.
Logic or Eminem, one of them.
Yeah, you're definitely that Logic type vibe. Most definitely.
Nice little crossover record though, for
Yes,
sure.
sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it is.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Pretty dope for what it is.
that beat
Shit.
hard as fuck.
Beat
Whoever you
hard.
said made that beat, I like that beat, man. He did that.
Yeah,
He did
right.
that for sure.
Most
Definitely fuck with that
Yeah,
beat.
my brother did that. Shout out Dub Slim on that.
Shout
Yeah,
out Dub
shout him
Slim, man.
out for sure. That was hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But shit, man, like I said, we appreciate you, man, joining us, man. I mean, I know you gave us more than the time, man. You said you would, and I know how you do, man. You my dog, so I know you wouldn't hesitate to give me some love, man. I definitely want to bring you back later on, man. And I know you got some more work that you're coming. I want to bring you back so you can talk about some more albums, some more music that you got coming up, you know, because I want them to hear that note and know your next moves that you got shaking. But definitely, bro, like we do on the produce department, we gonna give you the last word, family.
Hey man, it's the O on YouTube, man, aka the O. Make sure you tap in. I appreciate the produce department for having me. Hefe, Dynamite. Look, man, y'all witnessing history in the making. The produce department gonna be doing big things because they gonna be producing history, man. You are now a part of history, man. It's the O, aka the O on YouTube. New music out right now. I've been dropping a song every month this year. I got three more on the way over the next 3 months. You will be hearing more from the O. Right now, from January, my latest single is out here, subtitled "Bad Decisions." I Listen to Rap, featuring Lucky Luciano. Wish No More, featuring Scrooge and Brown. Catch a Vibe, which just came out, also featuring Scrooge and Brown. And coming out this month is Chinatown Winter, featuring Shalon Raquel. Wish No More, which came out in March, is also exclusively playing on Hot 92.5, The Heat. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. It might be Hot 92.3. I just need to check it right quick, make sure I'm not lying. Because I be lying. I don't want to lie now. Yep. Hot 92.5, The Heat. Yep. Had to double check it on social media. Exclusively in Greensboro, man. I want to salute Multi-Mogul Media, my dog Tay in Greensboro, for showing all that love. Hey, man, once again, produce department, I appreciate y'all. It's nothing but love here. Thanks for having the O, a.k.a. the O. You already know.
Yes, sir. Much
Yes,
love,
sir.
man. And we catch y'all next time, man. We out.
All right.
All right.